the last 3 weeks before I go away to Indo, go to G-Land, I'm like usually getting eggy. Am I going to get hurt? Am I going to get sick? Stay away from me. That's the least thing in my mind right now.
Yeah.
Is going. That's not going anywhere.
No.
Indonesia is not going. It's going to be there. We need to get everybody like healthy and not have any more people limited. People dying from this. I mean, that's.
Can you imagine though if you were like there when this all went down and you were stuck in G-Land?
Well, that'd probably be actually. I mean, obviously, that'd be a decent place to be because there's not
isolated.
many people around. It's a national park. On the weekends, you do have a lot of people coming from Jakarta.
Yeah.
There and other parts of Java, but the big thing obviously is the medical care. There's no ventilators on the last part wall.
Yeah.
So. But Bali's screwed. I think I saw yesterday, 24 doctors died on Bali alone yesterday or something.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, their economy must be taking such a hit too.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone,
their
their
GDP is based solely on tourism.
Yeah.
So they're done. I don't maybe.
Oh man.
Although I saw a post on social media yesterday. My shaper who makes some of my boards I have stashed over there. Luke Studer saying that it's been going off at Ulu's and nobody's been out. He's been scoring. So I guess that's the benefits of being an expatriate.
Yeah. Wow.
And actually, I got to.
So what do you when do you think we'll be able to get back in the water?
Well, I mean,
obviously it's. Fluid.
That's once again. That's we discussed this already. That's an individual preference, but I think when would you be back in the water where I think you feel like surfy about it, like real surfy about going out. And,
government sanctioned. Let's say government sanctioned. Government sanctioned surfing.
Oh Jesus! You know what? I don't know. Maybe late June, July. I think maybe. Wow. I think it depends on how the next couple of weeks go. Because the weather's gonna get warmer, and there's people just And listen, I've been going out skateboarding a little bit, and I probably shouldn't been doing that. And I see there's more. That's like if you're following Joel Tudor on this, he's like officially become like the curmudgeon of the interwebs of surfers. You know what I'm saying? He's like, well, these cyclists and runners are like, they're out in full force now. So why wouldn't surfers be going out there? I mean, So now that the weather, and that's California, where it's 75 degrees in San Diego every single day, and wherever he lives, North County or wherever he lives, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When now people are jonesing, it's getting nice out. There's people out like crazy, where really you should be sitting in your house and doing what we've been doing, chatting all day, sending stupid memes to each other, and just letting it mellow out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if you want it to get back to normal,
Well, he's supposed to be. He's supposedly a big pot smoker. You'd think he'd be much more mellow.
Listen. I've only met Joel a few times, and I really haven't had a lot of interactions with him. But I didn't realize that. I think somebody said it to me best. They're like, oh yeah, Joel Tudor, he hates everything. You know what I'm saying? He hates everything. You know what the best in that who does the what's that board thing they do with the blind boards where like Dave Reynolds rides
the electric acid test.
Yeah, who puts that out? That's
Stab,
right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Ashton Goggins, who we were talking to today, right? That's his thing. What did Joel? I like when Joel talked about the asymmetrical Ryan Birch boards. He was like, "Yeah, there's only one. You ever seen an asymmetrical fish?" He goes, "The only fish that's asymmetrical is like a halibut or whatever, and that's a bottom feeder. It's like that shit off the bottom, It's like, and then I saw that on social media, and somebody wrote, "Oh yeah, that's Joel. He hates everything,"
That's awesome.
Right, but yeah, he's in the pro surf camp, and then go surf, and then Skin Dog Right is saying don't.
No.
Right?
Yeah, no, and it's funny watching it, and it just, to me, it just seems so stupid. Like to be arguing, I should be going surfing. It's like, so what? it's just surfing. Like, I love surfing. It's a huge part of my life, but it can take a back seat. It's
not going anywhere.
It's so minuscule compared to what's going on. To me, it just seems so entitled, just seems like total entitlement. Like, I should be able to do this. Like, dude, fucking people are sacrificing their lives. You can fucking sit at home and chill, spend time with your kids and chill,
Well, right. Like, I went on, like, I put it on my feed the other day, and I was like, well, now this is what I don't like. Listen, the whole, locals, or you and I don't live at the beach. I used to live at the beach. We live in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And driving out to the beach, I mean, listen, I'd say that, not to toot our own horns, we're probably more on the competent, well-traveled side of the surfers in the New York area. So it's not like that we're going to be, being dangerous to anybody. But when people are using this as an excuse to all of a sudden loke up and be a local, I'm like, well, wait a minute. So now your zip code is now the vaccine. So now you're not going to spread it to each other. It's only going to be people who come out of the area that are going to give it. Now, I understand that. So it's like the whole purpose of the shelter in place is to limit exposure to each other.
Exactly.
It's not, I mean, obviously, yes, 5 guys jumping in a car going out to a surf is pretty irresponsible. But, I mean, one guy going out to surf versus the guy who lives down the block, is he, what is that guy who lives down the block? Is he a fireman or a cop or a nurse or something that's mixing with other people that aren't in the surf community? So the bottom line is that it's all about not people of social distancing, and that's where, my opinion is, the surfing, you're not doing it really, So,
and to be honest, I think Rockaway is a more dangerous place than some parts of Brooklyn in terms of COVID, because you have a lot of police, a lot of firemen, a lot of aid workers who live out there.
That's exactly what I was saying, Tyler. Right. So it's like all of a sudden the guy's like, if you don't live here, don't surf here. Yeah. Those guys are all civil servants, and they're out doing what I'm doing. They're mixing with the general public. So you're saying that you're not exposing each other, and now you're not exposing it to the people that you work with in the firehouse that don't live at the beach. So if you're just using this as an excuse to loke up and get some more waves to yourself, I think you need to look yourself in the mirror.
Totally.
But I see, I think Ron Shine, and me and Ron have had our, we've had our ups and downs together over the years about not agreeing on everything together. And Ron said, "Listen, dude, I live up the block now. I live, and I have not been surfing." And I'm like, well, you know what, Ron? Kudos to you, man. You're a man of integrity. You're sticking by your word.
Especially when he gets a new board. That must be torture.
No, that's a day ending in Y,
Well, Dorado, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you.
I hope I didn't monopolize too much of yours.
No, you just shared a whole lot of great information with our listeners, and also gave them a little bit of perspective. So I really appreciate it. And, I just want you to be safe out there, and obviously your family. I think about you a lot, actually, and you and a few other friends who are out there, and I just want to make sure you guys are good, and I appreciate you coming on here.
Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate you having me on, and you know what? Shout out to everybody. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane, and we're gonna get through this. All right?
Thanks, man.
Okay. Good night.
And that was Dorado. Christopher Gaby, Captain FDNY. Really grateful for him to come on and give us a peek at what he's having to deal with. So definitely appreciate it. Now, our next guest, John Brooks, it's really interesting. Like, I had saw him make a post on Instagram about how they're trying to open the beaches for surfing. And I was very curious, because I know he is a firefighter and an EMT, so he would be a frontline person. So it was a very interesting, post. And I'm like, I have to follow up and see what the rationale is and, why they think they can do this, or what is the reason. And I know I've been very vocal. I think most people should not be surfing. But at the same time, I'm intrigued talking to John, and John lays out a very interesting case for it. You can make up your mind, listen to it for sure, try to go in with an open mind, and not be so angry or frustrated or, willing to just not hear it. I think it's a very interesting argument, discussion to be had, and, whether we can surf safely in a time of crisis like this, and whether, we could be respectful and whether everyone can work together. Um, we'll see. I definitely have my thoughts about it, but John's great, and it's a really interesting discussion. I think everyone should definitely listen to it. And if you are going to really protest and want surfing to be open to people, then do it the way John did and work within the community, work within the county government, stop bitching and complaining on social media. Like, do something about it then and try to work within the realms that we have. So I give a lot of respect to John and everyone that he's involved with this petition and community movement. So here we go. Give it a listen to John, and open mind. Listen to it. Hear what he has to say. All right, we are here with John Brooks from the one of the organizers of the Florida Surf Film Festival, a fireman as well, and gosh darn it, just one of the most stylish cutbacks. So good on a fish. Just a really good goofy foot. John, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on, man.
Oh, thanks for having me, Tyler. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. How are you guys holding up down there? How's everything?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly an interesting time in the world, I guess. I mean, it feels like nobody's untouched from this event. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'm super fortunate personally in that, like you said, I'm a fireman. I work for the government, so I still have a job, and I go into work, and I'm fortunate. I live right by the fire department I work at, and I live right by the beach. So those things are good, and but just it is bizarre for sure.
Are you seeing, like, being in the fire department, are you seeing an increase yet? Have you started to see everything start to hit, or?
Well, what's interesting for us, and just to give you a little background on what's going on here, I'm in Volusia County, and throughout the entire event, I think we have a little less than 5,000 positive tested cases in Volusia County.
Okay.
And we have just over 300 fatalities. So that's about a third of, I think, what you guys had in New York yesterday in one single day. So from that aspect, it really hasn't exploded here like it has in some other places like New York and Chicago and San Francisco and Louisiana and places like that. But we do have cases, and we've transported cases, at our fire department, and we've had some fatalities, but nothing on the large scale like some of the other places in the United States are dealing with.
Oh, let's hope that continues.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Is everything just been shut down by you as well, or is it? Because I know Florida up until recently it was county by county. Correct?
Yeah, it wasn't until April 1st that the governor issued the stay-at-home order, the executive order.
Yeah.
That went into effect on April 1st. Before that, most of the counties had implemented some kind of stay-at-home order of varying degrees depending on the county. Mm-hmm. I know that Miami's was pretty strict right from the get-go because they were kind of a hot spot within Florida.
Yeah.
Early on. Where I live, Volusia County was actually one of the last counties to really ramp up the closures of like businesses and the beach and things like that.
Yeah. So they fully closed off the beaches.
They did actually. It actually lasted for 24 hours. They closed the beach. They had a county council meeting, and they took a vote. And on a Thursday afternoon at 4 p.m., they announced that the following day or that night at midnight, the beach was going to be closed to all human traffic of any kind. You literally couldn't set foot in the sand.
Wow.
Ironically, you were allowed to access the surf by boat.
Tell that to legally. Those guys at Trestles.
Well, yeah. California is a whole different story.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,